Okay. Hi, Kate.
Hi, nice to meet you.
What it was like to work on a project like Loki within such a beloved cinematic universe? Did you feel a lot of pressure?
You know what? I think in the sense that, because I love the character of Loki and he's obviously very beloved. So I think for me, it was about paying respect to what has come before, but also having a good reason to go back in, right? And making sure the story was exciting new ground for Loki and something that I hope people will enjoy.
And I love the contrast between analog and futuristic in the first two episodes of the series. And as if the 80s were suddenly transported into a weird sci-fi dimension. And how much work did it take to get scenographically and directorially to such a precise and impactful stylistic crisis?
Yeah, so I would say in terms of like the design of it all, like I think initially when I pitched to them, I had, like a lot of brutalist architecture kind of because of the timekeepers and they feel very grand and godlike. So I was like, oh, brutalist feels right to me. And Midwest I thought was fun because the TVA are very heroic. But beyond that, I think it was really just like, I wanted it to be a big love letter to sci-fi. So, I was pulling from left, right and center. So like Metropolis, Brazil, Blade Runner, and me and my production designer, I just remember when he pitched, like, he hadn't seen my pitch and like he was just showing images like that were the same as in mine. And I was like, oh, we're already on the same page. This is great. And he's a genius. And I think something that was really fun working with him was that I wanted to have a lot of practical sets as well because I like doing long takes. And I think there's films like Eternal Sunshine and Scott Pilgrim where, you'll see characters walk from one fantastical set to another. And for me, it's always really helped sell the reality of the heightened situation they're in. So, I mean, in the first episode, people will see it, but like Loki and Mobius like exit the elevator and they walk down this really long hallway to the time theater, but we deliberately designed that as one big set. So I think that was definitely part of it in terms of helping sell the reality of the TVA. And then with the technology, honestly, and I think for us, it was just really important to kind of capture that retro futuristic look.
And is there any inspiration by Doctor Who?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm British, so I'm sure it's probably just in our DNA now, but yeah, I think there's so many inspirations. Like honestly, like I said, like I love sci-fi, and I think there were just so many like places we were pulling from. I mean, even small things like the font on the computers was inspired by the ones in Alien. So it's like, yeah. So I think I was obviously trying to keep it all feeling connected, and so it didn't feel like really sporadic, but just, yeah, like there was a lot of fun to play in, obviously, because the TVA is this huge playground, really. So we pulled from a lot of places.
And I really loved you in Lovecraft Country as Ruby, who is a really strong and nuanced character. And in Loki, you play the role of a hunter of the TVA, a true badass woman, another true badass woman, who even stands up to a god like Loki. What would it like for you to play this action character, a true soldier and stoic leader?
I love playing Hunter B-15. I love how bold she is, how unapologetic, how straightforward. And I love that she doesn't code switch. She just is herself, no matter who she's in front of. God, demigod, human, or whatever, Renslayer, she is herself. And I love that. I think it's really important to see women not mincing their words and trying to be nice and trying to be liked and just doing what they're here to do and be great at it.
And how was this experience in the MCU in general? Is there a particular moment that you are proud of?
It's been an absolute joy being a part of the MCU. I feel like they welcome you very quickly into the family and into the fold, and it feels delightful. It really does. Very, very grateful. I really love doing all of the stunt training and all that rehearsal and I just loved it. The choreography practicing and going through it every day with Tom. And so yeah, I guess I really enjoyed filming those scenes, those kind of, when we actually got to shoot them, I really felt very like, oh, we did it. You know.
And which was the most difficult challenge for you while making Loki?
I found it difficult filming in the rain, in the cold rain, in a night shoot. I found the costume very difficult, actually. The costume was quite restrictive and hot, and it was just a lot. But generally, I just had a great time.
And I really enjoyed this first 2 episodes of Loki and your character. Even for now, she is a little role in the narrative. And Ravonna is your first role in an already established movie and TV or streaming franchise for you. And on top of that, also give orders to Owen Wilson and treat Loki like a child. How was this?
Well, he behaves like a child, to be fair. He does behave a bit like a child sometimes.
And how was this experience in the MCU for you? Are you satisfied with your character, and what should we expect from Ravonna?
Yeah, I mean, it's been really fun, as you say, to sort of have this authoritative role, somebody that is there to discipline Loki, essentially, in the TVA, and putting him on trial for crimes against the sacred timeline. So that's been fun. It's a departure for me to play a role with this kind of status. And I think, you know, in terms of, as the show goes on, things get a bit more complicated and more intense for Renslayer. So I'm excited for audiences to see how things evolve for her as the show goes on.
And what was it like working with Kate Herron, the director? In my opinion, she has an amazing cinematic eye.
Yes. Oh, Kate was just so passionate from the beginning. I mean, the first conversation I had with her was about 2 hours on the phone, where she explained everything to do with the TVA. And this was this whole new world. I mean, she really is world building here visually with this whole aspect of the MCU that people haven't seen on screen before. And she's incredibly passionate and detail oriented, and just is surrounded by such a wonderful team in terms of production design and the writers. So I loved working with her, because I think even though it was such an epic scale and a very heightened world, she was also really great at talking to the actors, you know, about the relationships, and also bringing it down to a grounded human level, you know, in those more intimate scenes.
And I've only seen 2 episodes of the series, so I don't know how Ravonna stories will proceed in the rest of the show. But in the comics, it has a clear connection with Kang the Conqueror, who in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and will be played by Jonathan Majors. And I wanted to ask you, without any spoilers, that you know, will there be any connection between Loki and the Ant-Man 3? Should we expect Kang's presence as humored in the past few months?
Ooh, well, that's a really tough question for me to answer. All I can say is you'll have to watch to find out.
No. Disappoint.
Oh, well, no, but I don't think you'll be disappointed when you watch the show. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you for your time, and wish you the best for your work.
Thank you. Thanks.